To get started, you will need your tie-dye tree. Underneath, you'll see the paper where you had a print from when the ink from the markers got onto your paper. With this paper, you can decide to keep it or recycle it. Then you'll need a new piece of paper, and we're going to start by writing our name on the back with a pencil. Then you can flip it over, and the first thing we're going to do is glue our tree down in the middle of our paper. We're going to use a glue stick for this step. Both sides of your tree should have about the same amount of color, so it doesn't really matter what side you put the glue on. If you think that one side looks more colorful than the other, then put the glue on the side that isn't as colorful, because that side will be facing down. When I'm adding glue, I'm just putting glue all around the edges of the shape of the tree, and then a little bit in the middle. Then you're going to want to find the middle of your paper. The middle is not down here, not up here, or off to the side. We don't want any parts of our tree hanging off our paper. Once you like the spot it's in, then press it down and make sure your tree stays in place. You don't want any parts of your tree coming up, so if you do have some edges that are not glued, make sure you add enough glue so that they stay down. You can also turn your paper over and rub the back to make sure that your tree stays in place. Then give your paper a little shake, and if it doesn't come up, then your tree is glued down enough. Our next step is using some markers to draw concentric lines that follow the shape of the tree, all the way to the edges of our paper. You can use any color of markers that you would like, but I would like you to use at least 3 different colors of markers. I'm going to use some different shades of purples, pinks, and reds because they contrast my tree a lot. Instead of using something like green, which I have a lot of, I'm using some different colors to make my tree stand out. Now, the first thing we're going to do is give our tree a hug with our line. We're going to start very close to the tree and draw a line with our marker that follows the shape all the way around. You can start with any color of your choice. I decided to start with purple, but you are the artist, so you choose what color you like best. When you're doing this, notice how close my line is to my tree. It's not right on the edge of the tree, but it's very close. I don't have a lot of space between my line, and I'm following the shape, and I like to turn my paper when I'm doing this because then I can draw a better line. So I'm going to go all the way around my tree shape. Notice how I'm drawing my line in little sections. I like to do this because I can make a neater line. Now that I've finished one concentric line, then I'm going to change my color and draw another one. When I draw my next line, it's also going to be very close to the last line. So I'm giving the line a hug and drawing very close to it. When you're drawing your lines, it works best if you go slow. It is not a race to finish first. When you take your time, your artwork will look neater and it will be your very best work. Now I'm moving on to my third concentric line. Again, I'm following the shape of the tree and drawing very close to my last line. I'm not leaving very much space in between my lines. When you reach the edge of your paper, like I did here, we're just going to pretend that we have more room on our paper and continue our line around the tree shape. I'm going to go ahead and continue drawing lines around my tree and keeping them close together. Remember, when you reach the edge of your paper, you just need to skip that part and continue the shape. Now I'm almost done filling my paper with concentric lines that follow my tree shape. But I've reached the part where I'm only working on the corners now, but I'm still continuing to use the same color all the way around. I'm just pretending that this purplish pink color goes around my tree, so I'm skipping this part because I don't have any paper left, and I'm continuing my line on the other side, just drawing where I have paper. Then my line would come down and I would continue it over here at this corner. Then it would come around the bottom of the tree and continue on this side as well. Remember when you're using your markers that you need to hear the snap of your cap. That will make sure that the cap of the marker is on and it will not dry out. If you leave your marker with a little bit of room between the cap and the marker, then it's going to dry out. If it's hard for you to snap the cap on, you can press down on your table and that will help. Once you have filled your paper with concentric lines all the way to the corner that follow the shape of your tree, the next step is adding some decoration to our tie-dye Christmas tree. We're going to use rhinestones and white liquid glue to attach the rhinestones to our tree. When you're using the white liquid glue, you need to twist the orange part of the glue bottle so that it opens. When we're adding our rhinestones, we just want to use little dots of glue. Just a dot, not a lot. This would be way too much glue for a rhinestone. We only need a little bit to make it stick. You're going to add glue on the tie-dye tree where you want to place your rhinestones. Then you can put your rhinestone on top, count to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to make sure that it stays in place. I'm going to add them all around my tree by just using a dot of glue. This glue looks white, but it will dry clear, so don't worry if you can see a little bit of glue around the edges of the rhinestone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna go ahead and fill up my tree with rhinestones. Done adding rhinestones, make sure you close your glue bottle's top by twisting it. You should see a little white dot on the top of the lid. That means that it's closed. I'm also using a wet wipe to wipe the extra glue off so that it doesn't dry on there, and that way it's easier to open next time we want to use this. Then you can take your tree and put it on the drying rack so that the glue will dry. I hope you had fun working on your tie-dye Christmas tree and adding concentric lines that follow the shape of the tree in the background and rhinestones to decorate it. I can't wait to see how yours turns out.